Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Cracked Open. Today, I'm talking to you guys about supplements you should be taking if your goals are to stop playing games with your gains and start making gains while you game. Let's go.
Buff spring. Buff spring. Buff spring. Buff spring.
Alrighty guys, first item on the list is going to be amino acids and electrolytes. The reason why I chose this as the number one product is because it allows you to kill multiple birds with one stone. Let me explain. I have an issue with keeping up with hydration. And one of the things that I hate about it the most is drinking the recommended amount of water causes me to go to the bathroom constantly to the point where I can't even function. And you know, that's unfortunate, but you got to do what you got to do, right? In order for the muscles to function correctly, in order for your body to function correctly, you have to be hydrated. Hydration is key for anything else in your life to work. All right, it doesn't matter how much food you eat. It doesn't matter how much vitamins you take. If you don't have the hydration required to allow those nutrients and everything that you're taking in to nourish your body, to actually flow through the body, to be passed through the body, transported through the body, and they need water. They all need water to do that. And well, you know, some stuff needs fat and stuff like that too, but nothing works without water. Nothing works without water. So you have to stay hydrated. And I find that the BCAAs, the amino acids, and the electrolytes allow me to kill two birds in one stone, because you can get electrolytes. You can get electrolytes separately on its own, which you see there. But if you can get it in a product, an amino acid product, why not? You're protecting your muscles. You're encouraging protein synthesis, and on top of that, you're hydrating the cells. You're not just drinking water. And what I found is when I just drink plain water, I have to go to the bathroom a lot more than when I drink water that is filled with electrolytes. And I believe that's because the water is actually being absorbed. The electrolytes are being absorbed. I'm not just flushing myself, which is what I think happens when you just drink water. And I think, you know, there's a lot of people out there that think I'm going to drink distilled water. A lot of people out there thinking I'm going to drink tap water and all these things. That stuff is not what you should be consuming, you know, on an everyday basis. I understand sometimes you're gonna have to do what you gotta do, but you need to be drinking water with electrolytes, okay? And I love these supplements because I get everything that I need to support muscle growth, to protect the muscles, and for hydration. All right, guys? So amino acids and electrolytes is my number one product. Right after that, I'm going with creatine. If you haven't looked up creatine, you should. But one thing I'm going to recommend with you guys is don't get so involved in researching things that you end up with analysis paralysis, because it can happen. And when it happens, you don't notice that it's happening and you'll get nothing done. With that said, if you don't know about creatine, you know what I mean, and you have the time to look it up quickly and see all the benefits that it has to offer. I take creatine daily, 1 scoop every day. That's all you need. Some people like to go through a loading phase. I've never did that myself. However, if that's something that you want to do, by all means, go ahead and do that. I have never heard complaints about loading, you know what I mean, other than you're just going to run through the creatine a little quicker. Some people say they cycle off of it. Some people say you don't have to cycle off of it. Again, I'm going to leave that up to the individual. I see nothing wrong with taking a break from certain things, you know what I mean, just to give your body a chance to, you know what I mean, recalibrate itself and you know what I mean, cleanse itself from certain things. If that's an option that you want to take, that's up to you completely. You have to know yourself. However, creatine is not a product that has been, something that they talk about has to be cycled. I don't believe you have to cycle it. It's something that's produced in the body, something that you do get from food. You just don't get it in the amounts that you need for the goals, you know, for like goals you're trying to accomplish in the gym. right? And there's so many other benefits to it. In my opinion, it's damn near close to being a multivitamin on its own. All right, guys, so you can look into that. Creatine, I would put over everything except hydration, but together they're the ultimate banger. You can't have creatine without hydration, and if you add creatine to your hydration, it's only going to benefit you that much more. So look into it. I promise you guys, I always tell people, if you're going to start with 2 supplements and it's time you trying to go to the gym and get some work done, you start immediately with creatine and hydration, because the creatine takes time. It has to saturate the muscles, right? You have to saturate the muscles with it. So imagine that you have a dry t-shirt and you gotta scrub something off the wall, or a dry towel, sorry, and you gotta scrub something off the wall or off of the floor, or mop, and you gotta clean the floor. What do? You saturate it in water, and that water almost never seems to leave that mop. It never seems to leave that mop because it's saturated. It will sit there for days. It has to dry. You'll never be able to see a mop dry. You'll leave and come back and then it's dry, and you don't know when it finally finished drying or anything like that. That's the same idea with the creatine. You have to saturate the muscle so it's always available. They're always wet. They're always ready to go. All right, guys, creatine. The third item is going to be multivitamins. And I say multivitamins is number 3 because I believe that the food nowadays is iffy. Food is pricey. I know a lot of people say it's not pricey if you don't do this and if you don't do that, and I totally agree. But most people don't have the options of eating healthy every day because they've been brainwashed and manipulated into believing that they have to live a certain lifestyle that doesn't allow them to stay home and cook their own food or do certain things. So unfortunately, people are forced to eat outside. And when you have to eat outside, you actually don't know what you're getting. The only time you truly know what you're getting is if you really want to get deep, you're actually growing your own food and you know the source of it that way. Or if you're cooking your own food and you know what you bought, right? So the multivitamins is one of those products that hopefully you're getting a good product. Hopefully you're getting a product that's, it's good they're getting their ingredients from good sources, and it's going to cover your bases. If you're lacking in any areas, even though you eat food, you eat healthy food, this and that, but you're not eating enough food to get all the nutrients that you need to be able to function at optimal levels, a multivitamin is something that's going to cover your bases. It's going to fill in those gaps for you. Very important, guys, okay? Multivitamins, check it out. Number 4 on the list is going to be omegas. Omegas is something that, a lot of people don't like fish. A lot of people don't like certain things. A lot of people love olive oil, though. They love oil, right? But, there's something to be said about what fish oil does for you. It's good for the heart, good for the brain, good for the joints. It's good for your health overall, guys. There's a lot of benefits to it. And the most important thing is to make sure that you're getting from the fish oil what you need. There's different types of omegas. When you look it up, you're gonna see that. So the best, what I've learned is that try to get the omegas that you're not getting from this supplement. You have 3, 6s and stuff like that. You have your DHA and EPA and stuff like that. A lot of people are lacking in one and getting too much of the other. So pay attention to that. And make sure that you're filling in the gaps with the fish oils. But regardless of what, getting the fish oil is very important because of the benefits that it has overall. All right, guys. So I would say fish oil is very, very important. All right, great for the brain and stuff like that. Fish oil. And last but not least, guys, I'm gonna say protein is number 5 on the list. And the reason why I say protein is because, in my opinion, protein is probably one of the easiest things for people to get, but they just don't eat food that's going to give them all the protein that they need. And on top of that, they don't actually know how much protein they need. A lot of people turn to protein as a meal replacement and stuff like that. And they're not even, you can do that. You can absolutely do that, but they're not taking the right type of protein to do that. There's different types of protein that's gonna benefit you in different types of ways. But at the end of the day, when it comes to getting your protein, you want to get it from food sources, real food sources. Protein in a bucket or in a bag is simply to help you, like a multivitamin, fill in the gaps. Usually when a person is bodybuilding or they're doing some kind of extracurricular activity that requires them to need more than the average person of the average person's protein intake, what's going to happen is that there's a measurement that they use, which is 1 gram per pound. So 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, or if you want to be 200 pounds, you're supposed to be consuming a minimum of 200 grams of protein per day. That's not easy to do for most people. And even if you're eating a lot of food, you're not eating quality proteins, you're not eating quality food. Most people are eating a lot of carbs and all kinds of stuff like that. So now, we live in a time where we're blessed to have these opportunities to take things like protein supplements, right? However, you don't want to be taking this as your only protein source. You should be getting your proteins from things like eggs. Eggs is number one. You know what I mean? Protein source. Next, you got steak. You know what I mean? Beef is number 2, right? Then you got your fish. And then milk. You got chicken, turkey. You know what I mean? You got pork. Pork is fatty, but you know what? It's like, if you can manage what you eat and be disciplined, you can have whatever you want. You can have your cereal, you could have your fast food, you could have your pizza, you can actually have whatever you want. You just have to understand that if you don't, what happens is, and this has happened to all of us at some point in our life, and that's okay. What happens is that you start eating, not realizing how much calories you're consuming, and you're thinking about all the good stuff you might be getting from something, but not realizing how much negative stuff it's been doused in. So yes, you're eating fried chicken, and it's a nice big chunk of chicken breast, but it's deep fried. So you're getting so much fat, the protein almost don't matter no more. You know what I mean? Because whatever protein you're getting is gonna be countered by that fat. You're gonna gain fat that's going to render that protein nearly useless for you. Because if your goal, again, you remember this, the goal is to make gains. Don't play games with your gains, and make gains while you gain. So you don't want to be spending money on food that's gonna you know what I mean, have you drift away from those goals. Right? So just make sure that you're getting enough protein from real food, and if you're short or if there's a deficit, you fill in the gaps with a protein supplement. All right, guys. With that said, all of these products here together, you know what I mean, some are more expensive than others, but you can definitely, I always say to people, start somewhere and keep going from there. So if you want to start with the first 2 supplements, by all means, grab those 2 and slowly build up your stack if you can afford it all. A lot of these products, they range from anywhere from $20 to $150, right? So you can probably get everything. You can get everything on this list today for $200, maybe $250. Right? Again, it depends on what your budget is, what you're willing to spend. It could be more, it could be less, but I would say around there is about a decent approximate price for what one of each of these items will cost you. And so a lot of these products, like creatine, for example, you could buy a bottle of that and it'll last you for you could buy them bigger, you could buy them smaller. But on average, a small size of creatine could last you easily more than 2 months, more than 3 months, So that's not something you're going to be buying every month. As opposed to like multivitamins, you might end up buying that every month, but it's a different product serving a different purpose. As well as your BCAAs and your electrolytes and stuff like that. You're going to need those things a lot more. So, it's not going to be the same price you're spending every month, but if you want to move forward in this, in this journey, if you want to take that step, if you just didn't know what you needed to do and stuff like that, and you're looking to start and you need some place to start here. Slowly build yourself up, acquire these products, make them a part of your stack. What works for you, keep it in. What doesn't work for you, let it go. Nothing is forever. You don't have to do anything that doesn't work for you, anything that you don't want to do. You understand? But the most important thing is understanding that there is a starting point, and get focused and get to that point where you can start. I've had issues with starting things too, so I understand. And that is why I put out this video, is because people often ask me, what do I do for this? What do I take for that? And so on and so forth. And I never have an issue starting with this in this area, because I love it so much and I appreciate it. And I'm grateful. But also too, I know that if I need help with something that I don't understand that well, I'm gonna have to go to someone else and ask them. So there's nothing wrong with sharing the knowledge, guys, and there's nothing wrong with taking in some knowledge from somebody else. There's nothing wrong with that at all. All right, guys. Yeah. So, if you want to get everything in here, maybe $250. If you don't, and you say, you know what, I just need a couple, the most you're gonna have to spend, I think, is maybe $50, $50 to $60 at the most for a couple of stuff here, and then it goes up from there. You know what I mean? So you always gotta do your own research. I always recommend people do their own research, guys, but take it from me, I seen results from these products. I know others that have seen results from these products. As long as you're getting it from reputable companies that you can trust and stuff like that, you'll be okay. And I'll make more videos in the future that go a little more into depth with the products and stuff, like go into depths on the products. And yeah, guys, at the end of the day, if you guys want to hear more, let me know. If this helped you out, let me know. If there's something that I missed, let me know, guys. Let me know. And the best way to let me know is to like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I mean? And remember what I said to you guys at the beginning of this video. Just remember, if your goal is to stop playing games with your gains and start making gains while you game, holla at your boy.